I want to call this meeting of the Daviess County Fiscal Court to order. Today is Thursday, September 18, 2025. Commissioner Conder, would you mind leading us in a prayer and a pledge?
Thank you, Judge. If everyone could, bow their head, silent meditation, whichever you prefer. Dear Lord, on this summer day that needs a little bit of relief, just a little bit of relief of rain, timely. And I know that's being a little picky, but still, we do need a little bit. We have a world that hurts, a world that is losing lives in a lot of different ways. Our children, adults, individuals that have no choice, that their lives are taken, whether they be in school or just simply having a discussion. Guide our hearts, please. Please. Heal our anger. Allow us to be compassionate to each other. Allow us to understand we are all loved, especially by you. Bless your world and your people in it, and bless this court that we keep in mind that we represent all of your people every day. I ask this in your name. Amen. And now the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brooke, first item, please.
1. Consideration for presentation. A. Proclaim September of 2025 as Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month.
Commissioner Casson, you mind reading this proclamation?
Yes, Judge, thank you. All right, whereas the month of September is recognized nationally as Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month, a time to share resources, foster understanding and hope, reduce stigma, normalize help seeking, and support those who may be struggling. And whereas suicide is a leading cause of death in the United States, affecting millions of people every year of all ages, backgrounds, and communities, and leaving lasting impacts on families, friends, and loved ones. And whereas raising awareness of suicide prevention efforts is vital to encouraging open conversations about mental health, promoting hope, and ensuring that individuals in crisis know they are not alone. And whereas every organization and citizen have a role to play in suicide prevention by learning the warning signs, supporting one another, and spreading the message that help is available and recovery is possible. And whereas all residents are urged to join in this observance by raising awareness, engaging in acts of kindness, learning about suicide prevention, and supporting those who may be struggling with mental health challenges. And whereas the National Crisis Line 988 and other local crisis hotlines provide immediate life-saving support to those experiencing mental health emergencies. Now, therefore, I, Charlie Castle, Daviess County Judge Executive, do hereby proclaim September 2025 as Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I think we have Dr. Lionel Phelps with us. You got the whole team. Okay, well, if y'all would come up and receive the proclamation, we want to get our picture taken with you. Who you're with.
Yes, sir. I am Dr. Lionel Phelps. I'm the Vice President of Population Health for River Valley Behavioral Health. On behalf of River Valley Behavioral Health, our entire team would like to sincerely thank the Daviess County Fiscal Court and our county commissioners for recognizing September as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. This proclamation is more than a formality. It's a powerful statement that we as a community are united in our commitment to saving lives, offering hope, and supporting those who are struggling. It is also heartbreaking to note that suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people ages 10 to 24. Too many children and teens in our state across the country struggle in silence with mental health challenges, reminding us of the urgent need for prevention, early intervention, and strong community support. Suicide is not a distant issue. It touches far too many families right here in Kentucky. Each year, about 900 Kentuckians die by suicide. Among them are our veterans, who die at a suicide rate that's twice that, with more than 100 lives lost annually. Behind every number is a son or a daughter, a parent, a friend, and a story that's cut short. But we must remember suicide is preventable. With timely support, compassionate care, and access to resources, lives can be saved. For 61 years, River Valley Behavioral Health has been privileged to walk alongside this community, offering evidence-based treatment, crisis intervention, family and survivor support, and prevention programs such as mental health first aid and QPR training. Our mission has always been clear: to bring hope and healing when it's needed the most. And to anyone listening who may be struggling or who knows someone in pain, please know this, that help is always just a call or a text away. By dialing or texting 988, you or your loved one will be immediately connected to a trained crisis professionals who are available 24/7 to listen, provide support, and guide you to the resources you need. We are profoundly grateful for this county's leadership in shining a light on this critical issue. Together, by reducing stigma, spreading awareness, and reminding people that they are never alone, we can make a real difference. Thank you for standing with us in this life-saving work. Thank you.
Dr. Phelps, I want to say thank you to you personally, also Dr. Wanda and y'all's entire team. And I didn't know you'd been around 61 years. That's phenomenal. I know this is something that touches many families, and my own, not immediate family, but my own family's been touched by it, and both friends and friends, neighbors, and relatives. And it's very real for me, and it is, I think, for all of us. If you don't mind taking just a moment and speaking to the issue, I know some people say, don't mention suicide, you don't want to put it in their mind. You mind responding to that?
It's a myth. So actually, when you talk to someone who's thinking about suicide, it actually brings them relief, because most people don't have that conversation or even talk about it. They're just thoughts. So often it signals to people that someone is actually paying attention and cares. So it is a complete myth. It's been debunked so many times that if you talk about it, even my own mother told me that she was under the impression that if you talked about it with someone, that it would actually make them or give them the idea. And that's just not true.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
That's all I have. Any commissioners want to speak? Commissioner Conder.
Saying the three simple words, are you okay?
Are you okay?
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you, Lee.
Commissioner, either one of you.
I just want to say thanks to the whole team for being here from, well, a small part of their team that does so much at River Valley. Fortunately, with my previous job as a police officer, I had the pleasure of getting to work with them. And we actually have one of the signs that we would like to put some up. We had talked about this previously, but once we are able to coordinate with either the hospital or River Valley to get some more, we'd like to put those up at a few of the county locations.
Okay, thank you. Y'all don't have to stay for the meeting, but again, thank you for all you do in our community. Brooke, next item.
B, Treasurer's Report for August of 2025.
Mr. Johnson.
As of August 31, 2025, the total cash balance is $80,073,024.60. General fund balance is $43,349,348.13. minus operating reserve and restricted funds, cash for general fund operations is $33,005,607.70. In the bond fund, you will notice that $604,095.39 is currently held by our trustee for the debt service payments of the 2012A and 2012B General Obligation Refunding Bond Series. We report this balance for a single month while the funds are in suspension until the trustee makes the debt service payment in the following month, at which point this amount will no longer be in our fund balances. I have nothing else to report.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions from the commissioners? Next item.
2, consideration for approval. A, minutes of the September 4th, 2025 Davis County Fiscal Court meeting.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
We got a motion and a second. We've all had the minutes a few days to review. Are there any corrections, additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
B, all claims for all departments.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. These are all the bills due and payable by Davis County Fiscal Court. Are there any questions for the treasurer? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
C, contract with Premier Fire and Security for alarm systems monitoring services.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
This is a 5-year agreement for alarm system monitoring services for the Davis County Courthouse and Operations Center. Premier Fire and Security has satisfactorily performed these alarm monitoring services for many years. Whenever a fire alarm is activated in a facility, Premier Fire sends that particular code, location, and notification to Central Dispatch and the appropriate fire departments for response. The fee is $25 per month per facility. Project Manager Joe Paul Bickett is recommending approval. Legal and I have reviewed the agreement and see no issues.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments from the court? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
D, contract with Kenergy for utility service and line extension costs for Yellow Creek Park.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
This is a 10-year conditionally refundable contract to extend electric service to the Highway 144 entrance of Yellow Creek Park in preparation for new signage. The advance contribution in the amount of $525.26 will be refunded annually over a 10-year period. The agreement is standard for this request. Legal, Parks Management, nor I see any issues.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments from the court? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
E, contract with First Due Holdings Incorporated for fire incident reporting and record services.
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
The First Due software would be available to all county fire departments to ensure the timely and accurate data reporting that is mandated by federal regulations. The National Fire Incident Reporting System, or NFIRS, will be decommissioned at the end of 2025 and be replaced by the new National Emergency Response Information System, or NERIS. The software solution accommodates that transition to the new reporting and fully meets the requirements of the Kentucky Emergency Medical Services Information System, which is KEMSIS, and NERIS. In addition to the integration with the current CAD system to simplify reporting, it will allow seamless access to records such as building pre-plans, recent inspections, as well as provide information on fire hydrant locations and flow rates. Essentially, the system greatly enhances records management for the fire departments. This is a budgeted expense in the amount of $12,250 for the first year, with the annual subscription being $10,450 per year thereafter, which is subject to a potential 5% increase that will be evaluated with each renewal. Fire department management, legal, and myself have reviewed the agreement, and we see no issues.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments from the court? Commissioner Conder.
Thank you, Judge. Last evening, we had the Volunteer Chiefs meeting, and this item was discussed at length by Paul Nave, the director of Central Dispatch, and how not only the fire department, but also the sheriff's department and others will be able, our first responders, have access to information about what's in the structure, what's there, how quickly can they be able to analyze that even on the trips to these incidents that happen. So we talk about sometimes city, county government not necessarily working together. This is a big one. This one really will help. in any incidents that we have throughout our community for our first responders to really address problems quickly and efficiently. So, well, I think it's a well-done project, really well done.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else? Anyone from the public have any questions or comments about this item? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
F, AmeriCorps Host Agency Agreement benefiting the Homeless Coalition of Ohio Valley for fiscal year 2025-2026.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
For the past several years, Fiscal Court has sponsored the position of an AmeriCorps worker for the Homeless Coalition of Ohio Valley as the entity's agency funding. This worker is housed at St. Benedict Shelter and is supervised by Harry Pettigo on behalf of the Homeless Coalition of Ohio Valley. This program has proven beneficial for the coalition. It provides them an employee at a cost of $6,250, which is up from $5,750 last year. The agreement is for the program year September 1, 2025 through August 31, 2026. The Fiscal Court serves as the sponsoring fiscal agent, meaning the agreement must be approved in order for the payment to be processed. I see no issues.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments from the court members?
No.
Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
G, professional service agreement with STV regarding Browns Valley Red Hill Road over Shoemaker Branch Bridge replacement.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Duper.
Good evening, Judge. This is an agreement with STV to do the design work over a bridge replacement for this particular road. They are pre-qualified with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. This is also part of the 80-20 agreement that was approved 2 weeks ago in fiscal court, so 80% of the cost would be subsidized by KYTC. I recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Duper. Any questions or comments from the court members? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
H, memorandum of agreement between Commonwealth of Kentucky, Department for Local Government, and Daviess County Fiscal Court to establish an agreement for the Stanley Park lighting renovations.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Johnson.
In Fiscal Court Session 5-4 of 2023, the application for a Land and Water Conservation Fund, or LWCF grant to install lighting systems at Stanley Park for the ball field and pickleball court, which was Resolution 14-2023, was approved. The total estimated cost then was $291,616, with the grant having a 50% match, meaning the court will be responsible for $145,808. This is the LWCF grant that has now been processed at the state level. The Stanley Park LWCF project was also eligible for the grant program through the Cabinet for Economic Development, which was secured in Fiscal Court Session 320 of 2025. The grant program is expected to cover up to $138,865 of the county's required match, meaning that with the total estimated cost of the project being $291,616, Fiscal Court would ultimately contribute $6,943 in light of the two assistance grants. This project was included in the fiscal year 25-26 budget, so there is no need for amendment. Legal and I see no issues.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments for the court members?
No.
Commissioner Conder.
It's about time.
Amen.
There we go.
Yes. Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I, amended memorandum of agreement with Hollison LLC.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion second, Mr. Johnson.
On September 3rd of 2015, Daviess County Fiscal Court entered into agreement with Hollison LLC to incentivize the company to expand its facility in Daviess County and add 34 full-time equivalent positions in conjunction with the expansion. Fiscal Court contributed $300,000 from the Economic Development Fund that was comprised of two components. One, a grant in the amount of $134,000 that was contingent upon the additional jobs associated with the incentive to be repaid if the conditions went unmet. And two, a 0% interest loan in the amount of $166,000 that was to be repaid on September 30th, 2020, which was later extended to September 30th, 2025 in light of the COVID-19 pandemic and other factors. Several extenuating circumstances have recently affected the company's ability to make the payment, so this MOA is a 3-month extension, moving the due date to December 31 of 2025 to afford Hollison LLC the time necessary to confer with their new chief financial officer on payment options. Based on current fund activity, I do not see this avenue putting the court in a detrimental position.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments from the court? Commissioner Conder.
Treasurer Johnson, just a curious question. Has it been considered that with the company that started off so well, Paulson did, about 8-9 years ago, and now having just market issues or whatever the case may be, for assurities of the loan itself, not the grant, but only the loan, this is to extend it through the end of the year, making sure that they get their house in order and some other things to happen. But have we considered a mortgage on the business itself or their properties to ensure that those funds are repaid?
We have not as of yet, but we can certainly discuss in the interim.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Judge. I think it is warranted to look into whether or not that is a possibility.
When I had my meeting with the gentleman, the representative from Hollison, I made it clear that it's time for us to make this some finality to this, and he did share some information with me that I'm not prepared to share up here on the dais. That I was ready to give him 3 months to let's work on this. We won't do our community any good by forcing somebody into foreclosure. But to your point, I did have years ago, I was in the banking business, and I told them I know a little bit about it, and I know what's required if this agreement was with the bank, and that we will strengthen it, either that or it'll be paid off. So to address your issue, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Anyone from the public wish to speak to this item? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
J, amendment to the salary schedule for fiscal year 2025-2026, effective September 14, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second. Mr. Johnson.
This amendment to the salary schedule contains a single change whereby the position of operations lead was added to grade L7. This is a retitle and adjustment of the vacant position of landfill site supervisor. Solid Waste Management is recommending this amendment. I've discussed it with the court members, and I'm in agreement for clarity and consistency of the schedule. I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments from the court? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
K, solid waste rate schedule, effective October 1, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Johnson.
This schedule contains a single change, which is the addition of a bulk tires rate of $35 per ton, which is up from the current $14 per ton that is programmed in our system but not reflected on the rate schedule. The landfill is undergoing the transition from operating a separate residual and contained landfill to a single operation. So as we move away from the residual landfill, the volumes and economies of scale are already built into the contained landfill, and there is no incremental benefit associated with this particular waste stream. Additionally, we must now account for the additional airspace consumed and price the material in kind with other currently accepted materials. In light of this, Solid Waste Management is recommending to adjust this single rate. It should be noted individuals who bring passenger tires in by the tire or rim will not be affected by this, as we still want to encourage their responsible disposal. This rate applies only to bulk tire shreds or bulk whole tires to price them similar to other waste material rates. I see no issue with the request.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments from the court?
No.
Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
L, Resolution 17, 2025, subdivision street lighting district for Stonegate Estates subdivision.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, Mr. Johnson.
This is the method per KRS to allocate the meter cost of streetlights installed in subdivisions in unincorporated areas of Davis County. This resolution is for units 1 through 5 of the Stonegate Estates subdivision. The subdivision will become a streetlight district where the collective cost of the streetlights will be divided by the amount of parcels in the district and placed on the respective tax bills for collection and remittance to the utility. The petitioner has fulfilled all requirements. Our legal department has reviewed it, and I see no particular issues.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions or comments from the court members?
No.
Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
M, second reading of KOC 921.688, 09-2025, an ordinance amending text in Article 8 of the Owensboro Metropolitan Zoning Ordinance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Mr. Burley, you want to address this?
Thanks, Judge. I'll try to read the right one this time. There's several whereas clauses. I'm going to read those. Whereas on August 14th, 2025, the Owensboro Metropolitan Planning Commission held a public hearing and adopted by regulation zoning ordinance text amendment to Article 8 of the zoning ordinance. Whereas the official transcript of the proceedings at said meeting, including the evidence presented and recommendations of the Owensboro Metropolitan Planning Commission, have been filed with and considered by the Davis County Fiscal Court and is by reference incorporated. And whereas the Davis County Fiscal Court has carefully reviewed the amendment and finds that the amendment is in conformity with community directions and its amendment, and further finds that the amendment meets the requirements of Kentucky law, now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of the County of Davis, Commonwealth of Kentucky. And then I thought I would read just a brief portion of the transcription from the OMPC meeting to give some clarity.
Okay.
It's Ms. Evans said this. This proposed revision to Article 8 has to do with shops of special trade and general contractors. What this does is currently shops of special trade and general contractors are only allowed in the B5, I1, and I2 zoning classifications. This text amendment will allow them in the B3 Highway Business Center and B4 General Business zoning classifications through a conditional use permit that would be heard by the Board of Adjustments. That will allow the Board of Adjustments the ability to place conditions on that conditional use permit to ensure the use would fit into the B4 or B3 zone and area appropriately, depending on the intensity of the general contractor or shop of special trade use and the elements they have going on with it. This serves as an element in the zoning ordinance to be more flexible with how we implement and enforce our regulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Counselor. Any questions or comments from the court members? And I do want to recognize Ms. Evans. I apologize for not calling on you last at first reading. I had a moment of blindness. I didn't see you till you left. Anyway, is there anything you would like to add to what our counselor read? Okay. Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
N, declare surplus inventory and include scheduled items in the 2025 auction listing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion second. Ms. Sturgeon.
Yes, Judge, we intend to hold an in-house auction at the Operations Center on Friday, October 3rd, 2025 at 9 a.m. local time. The schedule of items we plan to either scrap, bid independently, or sell at the auction. In addition to this listing, we will be auctioning several seized and forfeiture items for the Sheriff's Office and Cooperative Extension Office. As we have done in prior years, Davis County Fiscal Court will conduct the auction in-house. Project Manager Joe Paul Bickett will serve as our auctioneer, with Road Department and administration staff handling all other aspects of the auction. This does require the court to declare these items surplus in accordance with KRS 67.08024 and our administrative code.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the court members? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
O, change order 5 for bid number 2425-30, Morton J. Holbrook Judicial Center HVAC replacement.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A motion second. Ms. Sturgeon.
This change order in the amount of $9,215 covers the labor and materials to replace an existing damaged damper in the air handler Unit 1 and an existing damaged roof exhaust fan. This project is fully reimbursed by the Administrative Office of the Courts, and the cost adjustment due to this change order has been approved by AOC. I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
P, reject bid number 2526-10, Parks Signage Project.
Motion to approve.
Second. You got a motion, second, Ms. Sturgeon.
Yes, Judge, we received 6 bids and recommend rejection of all bids received. Upon review by the Davis County Parks Department, the materials bid were deemed unacceptable for our use. While all materials met technical specification, Parks Management determined the material is not suitable for our project. We will rewrite the specifications and issue a new bid document.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the court members? Commissioner Conder.
Just a quick comment. Just want to thank Ms. Sturgeon for the work on this. This has been, again, another ongoing project. Just taking a little bit more time to try to get our signs correct at our parks. So thank you for all your work you're doing and will do to get this done correctly. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Marksberry.
Thank you, Judge. I just want to say that I hope that these are not going to shine in any residential homes since they're surrounding the park there. And I know that Commissioner Conder and I have discussed that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Q, award SMA number 2526-16, one new half-ton four-wheel drive regular cab pickup truck.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and second, Ms. Sturgeon.
We received 3 quotes and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated quote submitted by Bachman Auto Group for the provision of one new half-ton four-wheel drive regular cab pickup truck in the amount of $48,519. This is a budgeted replacement of an aging unit currently in inventory. Bachman Auto Group is a known vendor, and there were no exceptions to the specification. I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the court members? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
R, award RFQ number 2526-19, 7 sets of bunker gear.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and second, Ms. Sturgeon.
Yes, Judge, we received 3 quotes and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated quote submitted by America's Bravest Equipment Company for 7 sets of bunker gear for the Davis County Fire Department in the total amount of $24,265. These are 5 budgeted replacements and 2 new sets for additional employees to meet national standards. There were no exceptions to the specification, and I would recommend approval.
Thank you, Ms. Sturgeon. Any questions or comments from the court? No. Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
S, promote Wayne Barks to operations lead effective September 14, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and second. Want to congratulate Mr. Barks on his promotion and thank him for his service to our community. Any court members wish to say anything?
Same thing, Judge. Follow suit. Congratulations, Wayne.
Very good. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
T, hire Isabel Velez as communications coordinator effective September 29th of 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and second. Want to thank Ms. Isabel Velez for agreeing to come to work for us. Anyone else? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
U, hire Larry Worth as seasonal park attendant effective upon successful completion of pre-employment screenings.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Got a motion and second. Want to congratulate Mr. Worth on his hire and also thank him for his willingness to work for our community. Anyone else? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
3, consideration for discussion. A, other business to be brought before the Davis County Fiscal Court. There is none that I'm aware of.
Thank you.
B, public comments.
This is a part of the meeting where we invite the public to come forward, state your name to the podium, state your name and address for the record and speak to any item other than any item that has been covered on the agenda. Do I have any takers?
Hi, I'm Kathy Estes, 4104 Buckland Square. And I've prepared a statement for tonight that I'm
Okay.
going to read. Due to recent public statements made by Judge Executive Caslin, Commissioner J.D. Marksberry, and other Kentucky politicians, I feel the need to once again address the constitutional tenet of separation of church and state. Our country was established as a secular nation, as evidenced in papers written by most of our founding fathers on the intent of our constitutional right to freedom of religion. James Madison wrote, "We hold it for a fundamental and inalienable truth that religion and the manner of discharging it can be directed only by reason and conviction, not by force and violence. The religion, then, of every man must be left to the conviction and conscience of every man, and it is the right of every man to exercise it as they may dictate. I have ever regarded the freedom of religious opinions and worship as equally belonging to every sect. The U.S. Constitution mandates a separation of church and state, preventing the establishment of any official religion. All religions are treated equally under the law. Our military currently recognizes 221 religions, representing thousands of gods. The last U.S. Census reported almost 30% of the American population declared themselves unaffiliated, either in regard to a religion in general or to an organized religion. Thomas Jefferson, a deist, wrote, "It does me no injury for my neighbor to say there are 20 gods or no God." George Washington wrote, "The government gives to bigotry no sanction, and to persecution no assistance." Washington explicitly stated that religious freedom was not an indulgence granted by the majority to a minority, but an inherent natural right belonging equally to all citizens. He defined bigotry to mean an obstinate and unreasonable attachment to a belief system and the resulting intolerance of other views. Washington used persecution to describe the active and oppressive mistreatment of people based on religious bigotry. The premise of no assistance to persecution means the government will not use the force of law to discriminate against or punish any individual because of their religious views, or two, participate or enable any form of harassment, oppression, or harm directed at a religious minority. In closing, I'd like to suggest that this court put down your Bibles for a minute, pick up the U.S. Constitution, read it, and reread it until you finally comprehend its meaning. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Thank you.
Excuse me. Thank you, Ms. Estes. Anyone else wish to speak to any item that has not been covered by the agenda? Okay, next item, Brooke.
C, comments by Davis County Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Caslin.
Thank you, Judge. I do want to let everybody know that the transfer station, the building is, the new building's going up, which once that one goes up, the old one comes down, and then the concrete pad goes in, so things are, progress is happening and going well at the transfer station, so that hopefully, take some relief off the trash that blows out on the way to the landfill. Also, Commissioner Marksberry and I this week got to meet with some of the members of our Kentucky Division of Water. That was this Monday, and they're have some small but good progress going as far as what they call focal projects, looking at ways for the state to help fund the clearing of blockages in the creeks in our county, and also with the drone flyovers that they can do in our county as well, and be able to document the information that comes from the flyover so that we'll know even better of places to clear and other issues to address on the drainage. And, you know, I do want to say, and maybe not as eloquently as I want to, but with recent events in our country with violence towards others, regardless of who it's to or what it is, violence is always senseless in that manner when you disagree with somebody, and you know, that's why we have the ability as a democracy to talk to one another, vent our problems that way, because as I feel like everybody in this room understands that the violence is never the answer with that. So I do encourage those that think that is the right way to do things. It never is, and it doesn't solve the problem, and only makes it worse. So.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Conder.
Thank you, Judge. Just a couple of items, please. The Judge Executive always has this little thing of Christmas time. And do you know how many days away it is? There you go, John. County attorney coming through over here on this side.
You studied on that. You set that up.
I did not set that up. But in that regard of Christmas time coming, it is time now for the applications to be accepted to Christmas at Panther Creek. Applications are due by October 15th. Remember, October 15th. 5 nonprofits will be chosen at random. The event begins November 28th, which I believe is the Friday after Thanksgiving. I think that's correct. Running through January 1st. And for more information, please contact the Parks Department to put your name, put the nonprofit's name in there to collect a little bit of funding for their agency. Good way to do it, and a lot of smiling faces that come out there. That number is 270-685-6142. Last subject. Last week, there was a couple of people that have mentioned to myself in text messaging about a lot of the trash, as many of us are so concerned about, on Parish Avenue, especially going all the way out to approximately Bellevue Baptist. And so I just made a text message to our jailer Maglinger. And the very next day, he went out and with the crews did to clean from approximately Starlight Drive all the way out to Bellevue. I thought that would be just half a day. It was a full day, half of the next day, and that crew picked up 1,000 pounds of trash from that road only is what they did. And what it does is just means that whether or not we have some issues with people not putting their tarps on their trailers or whatever they're doing, you know, people, we're much better than this. And the Judge Hart says something about it almost every meeting, but yet we can't get the message across. We're better than that to be able to take care of our community. And that's just a prime example of a day and a half of work, 1,000 pounds in one stretch of a road. So thanks to the inmates and to Art Maglinger, they responded so quickly to get it done, and it is very appreciated. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Marksberry. Commissioner
Thank you,
Cassidy, you
Commissioner.
have something else?
I
I'm
failed
sorry.
to do something I was supposed to do meant to do it last time. So the Owensboro Human Relations Commission has been working on a Uniform Residential Landlord-Tenant Act. And to do this, they're asking for help from the community, citizens, and also those renters and people that own rental properties as well, trying to get community feedback on you know, the things that could be proposed and what the community agrees to. So they're hosting 3 forums, and the first one will be Saturday at 2, the Logston Center. Next one is Tuesday, the 23rd at 10 at the Neblett Center, and Monday, September 29th at 5:30 at OCTC's Technical Building, Room 100A. And if you have questions, you can contact 270-687-8670, or check the Human Relations Commission website, and it is under the newsletter section with the locations and times. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Marksberry.
Thank you, Judge. I have a few things tonight, if you could bear with me, please. And I wasn't planning on speaking about this, but since it came up, separation of church and state is a concept created by the courts, not the Constitution. And also it says in the Declaration of Independence in the first line that our rights come from God and not from man. The founding fathers made sure there would be no official religion of the United States like there is in England. In England, the Anglican Church is the official religion over there. It's called the Church of England. We do not have official religion in the United States because of the Constitution. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that there has to be separation of church and state. It only says that the government cannot establish an official religion. And I know someone mentioned in the library meeting the other night that the library is not a church. And to that, I would just say that faith is not only exercised within the walls of a church. On another note, I've had several calls and complaints and concerns about the situation at our animal shelter. There's been reports of lack of communication with no one returning calls or answering phone calls, emails, texts. No way to get an appointment for a spay neuter for Daviess County residents, but they've seen them bring puppies from Evansville and get them spayed and neutered and then take them back to Evansville. No one to advise on neighborhood cats, etc. So I just wanted to reiterate, and I do want to say, I know the animal control officers are doing a great job. They're doing what they are supposed to be doing, but I don't think the support is there with the shelter doing what we hoped they would do. So I've asked this court to take it back, and I'm asking again tonight. I think we need to take back the shelter. And then I just have one more. I have a question for you all. Has anyone heard back from the solar farm meeting as far as a follow-up to the questions they were supposed to get back to us?
I have not.
Okay. I haven't either, so just thank you, Judge.
So, the only thing I'll speak to the animal shelter is you and others have brought allegations to my attention on more than one occasion. And when we checked video of those particular allegations, they certainly were not supported. The video clearly shows that the accusation was not accurate. So I just want to speak to that. I do want to just say I had the pleasure yesterday of giving a tour of the courthouse to some friends from the Opportunity Center, and I took them up and down the halls and introduced them to they got the sheriff. You were so gracious to spend some time with them. I appreciate that. There was one gentleman that had he was known as the sheriff there at the Opportunity Center, and he requested a badge for everybody. So we were able to pull that off. Thank you to you and your staff for doing that. Later in the evening, I got a text from Commissioner Conder's wife, Ms. Rosemary Conder, thanking all of us for our hospitality to their visitors. And I just want to pass that on to yourself and the other elected officials that they visited. Commissioner Conder, to your point of trash, I called for those. Anyway, I told Commissioner Conder, I was talking to him one evening. I said, by the way, when I referred to you as my trash collecting buddy, That's meant with very strong affection. That's not a joke. So he and I share that very emphatically. Want to announce we are having our Toxaway Day on Saturday, September 27, from 8 a.m. to noon at the Daviess County Operations Center. This is supposed to be for Daviess County residents only. Please contact the Solid Waste Department with any questions at 270-229-4484. I'm not going to read it. There's a long list of items that they will accept that you're not supposed to throw in their trash when you throw out your trash each week. And and that's a special program we have. I believe we do that every year. Brooke, am I missing anything? All right. Without further business, this meeting is adjourned.